Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Expert to Authority show. My name is Simone Vincenzi, and I am your host. And today we are talking about the entrepreneur's blueprint for a super productive week. Every month, we ask our members to contribute on a particular topic that impacts them, their lives, how they run their business, and is one of our most popular initiatives. In particular, because it gives every member of our community a voice on something that matters, something that impacts them. So make sure you follow this podcast and also read the article that is attached to it to go into more details about what some of these members are sharing. And because in fact you will see that in this interview there are going to be a part of the members that also share in the article, so there is a lot to learn around productivity. Make sure you check it out. Now I want to start with talking about the importance of productivity, because what we are going to do in this particular interview, we're going first look at how can we be more productive, and what is something or some pillars that we can put in our lives to be more productive. And then secondly, we're also going to have an interesting conversation around the trend of productivity. Is productivity actually an overproductivity a danger? Or is it something really useful for us? Because we are moving into a particular pace of life where it feels like every single hour of our calendar is packed from start to finish. And that's good from a productive point of view, but is it good also from a human point of view? So we will explore that as well during the interview. But then it's my pleasure to introduce this topic, because it's something that I'm deeply passionate about, and definitely running 4 businesses. I gotta find a way to be productive, to move the most important projects forward. And so I'm here to learn and listen as much as to contribute. So we're going to start introducing our first guest for today, which is the one and only Sean Young. So Sean, if you can please introduce yourself and also share what is the non-negotiable productivity tool, hack, practice, whatever you want to call it, that they must be in your lives. Sean, over to you.
Hi, thank you, Simone. My name's Shan Young. I'm the founder or co-founder of Centre for Sustainable Action. We're a cooperative supporting entrepreneurs to build sustainability into their life and business. And I've also co-founded an app that helps them verify the impacts of what they're doing. And my number one non-negotiable is sleep. Like if I sleep 7.5 hours is my sweet spot, then I can get up and I can just nail every one of my tasks. So that is my number one. You got to get your sleep in.
And do you have an example of a particular project or things that you did that you went through because of the amount of sleep that you got?
Well, I had a funnel, as you know, funnels to get in to sell a masterclass I was running. And so I had a lot of assets I had to collect and gather together. And then I had to build the funnel, but first strategize the funnel, like how many leads do I need to send to it? And so you're doing all that sort of calculation. And then I had to collect all the assets. And then my brain was like, oh, like that. So I was like, hey, I'm just going to go sleep, and I slept. And then I woke up and I went boom, 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 funnel built, and it was out.
So
So that's
very
how it works.
productive, like very focused there, very
Yeah.
focused, very productive. I'm curious now to know from you, like, what's your take on uh, the the movement that there is of just sleep like 4 hours a day. You can work every single hour, like the nights are, you can get always extra time to work during the night. And I can understand, because even if I go back to like the beginning of my business, there were a lot of sleepless nights, tons of sleepless nights. Like I was running events, I had to finish a particular page, I was working on the website, million things to do. And I gotta say also that one of the things that got me to go to where I am now is the fact that I worked a lot of hours. I put a lot of hours in. So, but at the same time, those hours they came at the expenses of a good night's sleep. So, what is your thoughts on this trend that there is, that is mainly popularized also by social media and some influencers as well?
Yeah. I think there's seasons in our life. right? When you started out, you were a lot younger than you are now, and you're still young, and I'm older than you, right? So at that season of my life, I could real hustle and stay up long time and do all them things, right? But then there comes a point, and you have to listen to your body and your season of life. Like, what are you doing? You become more strategic. You learn what things are not worth staying up for. You learn to say no to more, to find clarity in where you're going and what you're doing and your message. And then we have AI now. So AI is just means you can sleep more because you can get tasks done a lot quicker and have a good sleep, you know? So I know from my experience when I run my pole dance fitness studio, I barely slept. I was pole dancing 26 hours a week and I burnt out. I ended up on a drip with exhaustion, you know? So you do pay a price, and it's not always a clever choice to burn your body out, whatever age you are. So if you can just get strategic, use the tools around you, use the community, like education that you put out, Simone, is all about clarity and strategic ways of doing business. So just don't do the stuff you don't need to do.
All right.
Focus.
Focus and sleep and get a good
Yes.
night's sleep. And I can definitely resonate with you. I mean, I started, I was 22 when I started my business, 22, 23. Uh, no sleep, 2 hours a night, 3 hours a night, I was fine. If I sleep 3 hours in a night, the day after, I'm a zombie. I'm useless. I'm a useless human being. So,
But you weren't fine, Simone. You put a post on LinkedIn the other day about how you did burn out.
correct. Yeah, I was
And so it
burning out
looks
like
like you're
regularly every.
fine until you're
Yeah,
not.
correct. Agree.
It's
Agree.
false
Agree.
economy. Just sleep,
Yeah.
man.
Just leave, just leave. Thank you, Shan. We'll back to you in the next part of the podcast. Now it is time. So we said sleep is the first non-negotiable, and I think that sometimes we look for either other tools or apps or tricks or things without having a strong foundation. You can have the best scheduling app in the world for your calendar. If your brain is not functioning properly, if your body is not functioning properly, then it goes out of the window too, right? So make sure you get your good night's sleep, which now leads perfectly to introducing our next guest, which is Isabella, because from sleep we are going to talking about mornings. So quick introduction, Isabella, for you and also your main productivity tip.
Hi, Simone. How everyone? So my name is Izabela Niewiadomska. For over 30 years, I've been right now working as a wellness and personal development coach. My passion is health, and over the last recent years, my focus is specifically on longevity, extending health span, and making sure that I can still maintain my productivity with the years passing by. So that's definitely something that I'm focusing on right now, and all the power related to healthy brain and sleep. I absolutely agree with Shan. It's one of the health fundamentals, no question about it. And when I was 23, I also had the experience that I ended up in the hospital and uh, developed panic attacks because of the exhaustion and some other things related to stress that I neglected, overlooked, and didn't appreciate the importance of them. And obviously, I've learned the hard way how mastering the health fundamentals, including sleep, is so vital. We take it for granted.
Yeah, we definitely do. I know when I asked you earlier, you move from the sleep to the morning, and for you the morning is really really important to set your day. Like expand a bit more on that side.
Well, yes, I think as leaders and entrepreneurs, we focus so much on strategies, techniques, business methods, but we often underestimate and don't appreciate the importance of our physical, mental, and emotional state we are having during a day, or how we can just prime this state in the morning, so we are ready. We are ready to go. Because let's face it, no matter how great leader you are, how brilliant your business plan is, uh, if you are tired, you are not going to produce the best results, and you are not going to be productive. So making sure that starting from the morning, you really consciously, deliberately take care of certain rituals that they set you for the most productive day, most enjoyable day, and obviously for a most healthy day at the same time, then it is very important for me. And one of the things I teach and I focus on is something like, call it brain breaks. That one of the exercises during those really very short breaks involves breathing. So that's definitely something I've learned how powerful it is.
You talked about the morning routine. Is there a specific morning routine that you follow?
Uh, yes, however, it's not like a rigid concept. There are certain things that I know that need to be done, and sometimes some of the things I start before the other, and sometimes the other way around, which is actually very good because brain likes a bit of activity as well. So you don't get into the routine that you do things mindlessly, but you develop a ritual that you are actually deliberately focusing on what you are doing, and associate that with sort of like even a feeling of gratitude and appreciation that whatever it is that, let's say you drink water, you just love water and appreciate all the goodness that it delivers to your body and sets your brain in a best way to start productive day, and obviously maintaining your health, your youthful look and longevity. So all those things, they do matter. So it's almost like turning um, routine into the ritual, which means it's more conscious, it's deliberate, it's intentional. That's what I would say. That's the difference. And same applies to breathing, for example. Breathing, first of all, even 10 deep breaths provide you with more oxygen, and oxygen means energy in the body. So you'd like your brain to be full of this power. It's a tiny little organ in the body comparing with the size of the body, but it just can eat up to 30% of the energy from the food that you are eating during the day, and another 20 at night. So it's really very important that we feed the brain, or we follow the rituals that they provide the brain with most energy, because that will benefit us. So breathing is powerful, and also breathing makes you feel more present. So your mind can focus better, you have better clarity, but also it has a calming effect for your stress system. So you are able to control better your emotions. And we know as entrepreneurs, we are facing a lot of different challenges, situations sometimes that they are unpredictable. So having this sort of like a point when whatever happens, suddenly you can get into this brain break, breathe for 10 times, and make sure that at that way you are absolutely in charge of your emotions. So instead of reacting, you can be kind of mindfully responding and assessing the situation, instead of jumping too quickly with with emotional response. Because what happens when obviously from the brain science point of view, the minute we feel and emotional, so under stress, under pressure, our logical brain, it kind of switches into the emotional brain, and during this process, you cannot think logically, you cannot think constructively. So it's so vital that through controlling your breathing, providing more oxygen, you can control your emotions and the power of making better decisions.
That's so powerful. In particular, I love what you said. You control your breathing, controlling your oxygen, you can control your emotions, which means also you can control the quality of decisions that you make.
Absolutely.
And I'm wondering, other than breathing, do you have a list of these other practices that you found useful? Because I understand, I love the idea of not having like this fixed or regimented morning routine. But some people will have, and for some people it might also work for them. By I need to wake up, and then this is what I'm doing first, this is what I'm doing second, this is what I'm doing third, and every morning they will follow the same one. I'm more like you. I like to have these principles. I know these are things that are good, and then as long as I'm doing a few of them, I can get started in the right way. So for you, is breathing. Do you have a couple more or three? Three more?
Hydration is a big thing, just to hydrate your body. Same principle, you can breathe, but obviously the blood needs to distribute the oxygen around your whole body, and the only way to do it properly is with water. Otherwise the blood is going to be thickened and kind of flowing slowly, and there is only with the water, with the proper hydration, you obviously maintain a big flow of that oxygen being distributed to all the cells. and nourishment, proper nourishment of the body in the morning. Your body needs not only just electrolytes that comes with hydration, but obviously all the essential nutrients that enables your body to perform the chemical reactions and produce energy, obviously, as well. The byproduct of eating is just we get energy. So it's all very simple, but we kind of almost like overlook and underestimate the simple science behind how our body works. That's why one of the programs I developed is body system. So you can befriend your body, get to know your body better, become a buddy with your body. So you can use your body as your asset, as your tool, as your friend, to help you to perform at your best whenever you have to or whenever you want to.
That's very powerful, because then you have when you know yourself, when you know your body, then you can have this stronger relationship with it, and you can understand also what your body needs.
Absolutely. And back to the question about this routine. Sorry, I just jumped through. I know that sometimes it works for people. They like this kind of structure, and we have to all learn what works best to us, for us. But the danger is when you are too rigid, then you can very quickly develop a feeling of guilt or not appreciation of what you do, and you can feel guilty that, oh, I haven't done something. You put extra stress and pressure for yourself, which produce more cortisol that actually has very negative effect on your productivity at the same time. So it just really goes hands in hand to make sure that you really start with certain intentions in the morning, so you maintain the flow, that everything flows smoothly without those kind of hiccups. Oh, I haven't done this, I haven't done that, and being upset about it, being hard on yourself. It's just really, it just embrace the kind of things like in nature. The oceans has ebb and flows. So allow yourself.
We have them too, Isabella. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Embrace them. Yes.
All right, that's brilliant. And to summarize, there are a few things here from this particular point. So number one is that if you have practices that you develop, instead of having a regimented routine, you can create a positive relationship with it. Because what Isabella said about developing a positive relationship also with our habits is really important, because they can become easy way to beat ourselves up if we are too strict, and then we cannot follow through. And so some of these practices is definitely setting intention at the beginning, the intention of the day, hydrate yourself, drink some water, and also give yourself the nutrition that you need, and then absolutely breathe and oxygen. So Isabella, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Now we are moving from, so we went through sleep to morning, and then we look at how can we be productive during the day, because also there might be situations where I put my hand up first, where I'm saying I'm gonna do something. I've got all the tools for doing the thing. I've got all the plan in the world, and I'm still not gonna do it. And I think that as human beings, we can all relate to this particular problems, but there is a very good and useful productive solution. So Elizabeth, over to you. Quick introduction, and what is your main productivity tool?
Thank you, Simone. So I'm Elizabeth Bachman of Strategic Speaking for Results, and I am a presentation skills trainer and executive coach. So I work with high-level executives, often women, who are hitting a glass ceiling. But I'm also the queen of procrastination. So I am, if procrastination were an Olympic sport, I would have a gold medal, like several gold medals. So I know that I have to set up structures for myself, working on my own as an entrepreneur. And what I just realized is that one of the reasons why I beat myself up about it is because I had 30 years as an international opera director, where it was creativity within a structure. And I would get things done because, if you've got Luciano Pavarotti and 60 choristers sitting there on stage staring at you, waiting for you to tell them what to do, you'd better be prepared. So that was always a motivation. And I always had a team. So the stage managers and the assistants and so forth, who would give me the accountability. And I would tell the producers, ask me early, the list of props and the list of lighting cues. Ask me early because you probably have to ask me 2 or 3 times before I will actually do it. What I've done now that I work on my own is I do have a team. I set up accountability for myself for projects, especially the projects that I'm going to put off. You know, um, I have an accountant who bugs me once a week to make sure that I do my bookkeeping because that's something I will procrastinate on. And so I divide the things that I need to do into chunks, and then I have people who will hold me accountable. Uh, and also, particularly with writing something and creation, content creation, I know that I'm the kind of person who needs to revise things. My first idea, I wish I would have brilliant ideas right away at the beginning, but no, I'm not. I'm the kind of person where version 3 or 4 is usually the one that the public sees. And it's better if I revise it. So I have a team who will say, "Are you sure? Oh, Elizabeth, you had a great idea. Are you sure?" And that actually goes back to 30 years in the opera business where we would try something and then we would rehearse it and improve and rehearse and improve. So I'm applying the things that I learned in my previous career for my current career. Um, and thank you to Sean and Isabella. The enough sleep, and breathing is always a good thing.
Yeah, very, very. I love what you said, Elizabeth, about having accountability and creating that accountability. Because also, if we think about how we get things done in a job, right? We have teams, we have offices, and actually, there's been a really, as much as there has been after COVID, definitely a movement for more freedom and flexibility, people working from home, that brought incredible, like positive changes, I think, as well. In particular, avoiding the commute and spending more time with your family. Like on one side, working from home, and for entrepreneurs, not going to an office space, working from a home office, and so on. It creates a lot of freedom and flexibility that we didn't have before. At the same time, though, productivity often drops. In fact, there's been a few companies that they implemented a remote work like every other company in the world, and then they revoked it. They said, no, we can't work like this. Our team is going to be in office only, and or at least the core team, the people that are moving, not the freelancer, the contractors, but the core team, come to the office, or come to the office at least the majority of the week. And that's again because of the idea of accountability. Now, often when we are left on our own, then we are just left to our own thoughts, emotions, how we feel that day. And the reflection of the projects that we are going to create also reflects on the emotions which we're in. When we are in an office or when we have others around, no, you gotta get it done. Whether you feel good, bad, ugly, happy, no, you get it done, right?
I find that for me, I need accountability with a human being. I've tried all the accountability apps, and if it's just me being accountable to me, I won't do it. Um, so I need to be accountable to another human being who's going to say, "Did you do this?" Which is actually the function I provide as a coach in terms of helping people step out of their comfort zone and learning to write their speeches and learning to practice their speeches. Often they aren't going to do it until the hour before they meet with me. So I do this for others. Therefore, I need to have others do it for me. And the other piece is, one of my mentors said once, your to-do list, if you get 80% of your to-do list done, that's a win. Because if you get 100% done, then you haven't set the goal high enough and you need to strive for more things. So if you get 80% done, be happy, applaud yourself,
Okay.
and then don't expect yourself to change everything overnight. The other thing I've learned is, if I can just do one little thing, if I can just tweak it just a little bit and get used to that, then I can incorporate that. Then maybe I can tweak the other thing. But to allow myself to be human and fallible and easily distracted, the queen of procrastination, I'm not going to change that now. So I just have to set up things for what's most important for now and then report to somebody whether I've done it or not.
Yeah, power of accountability. The power of
Mhm.
accountability. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. I want to share one as well. And for me, this is more a structure to help me prioritize what am I going to, what projects are the most important one in my business? Where should I put 80% of the focus in my business that is going to give me the biggest return? And I found this exercise from a guy called Scott Alford. That's where I learned it from. And basically, it's about dividing the business in 5 different categories. So you have different departments: sales, marketing, operation, customer success, finance, and mindset. So six. Then you have mindset as well. So in the 6 different categories. After dividing them in 6 different categories, then you start brain dumping all the problems that you have in those categories, all the things that are not going well, all the things that can be done better, all the issues and all the problems. And then once you've put them all together, then you can see, make a list of, if I were to solve top three, only 3 of these problems that I have, which ones will make all the other problem almost irrelevant or redundant? So now it gives a list of prioritization on the in order of the most impactful to the least impactful one, the top 3. And then we put them into a 90 days, 30 days, and 7 days process. We say, okay, so in the next 90 days, we are going to solve these 3 problems, which means in the next 30 days, we need to do X activity. We need to achieve this result. And so in the next 7 days, we need to start and putting these things in place. And doing that, it helps me focus on keeping the main thing the main thing. So I remember, for example, one of the issues that I have was at certain time lack of leads. So I basically spent 7 months focus completely on building strategic partnership and building a relationship. It was a 7-month stint only focused on that, because I knew if I had to solve that one problem, it would have made the biggest impact in my business. And anything else, yes, I can work on it, but the improvement will be marginal, will be very minimal. If I solve the problem, now we're talking. Once it's solved, then I can move to solve another problem. So that particular system, divide the business in 6 categories, then identify the top 3 issues that if you solve them, will make all the others almost irrelevant. Focus on the top one, and then you have 90 days plan, 30 days plan, 7-day plan. That was a really strategic, good move that we've been using for now 4 years, and I love it. And every quarter I do it. Every quarter I redo it. All right, so now I would love to switch a bit of conversation to, is productivity healthy or not? Because there is this ongoing conversation about we gotta be productive, we gotta be productive, we gotta be productive. And right now we are part of that conversation, right? We are riding this trend of productivity, even with this conversation we're having today. However, is are we moving as a society in the conversation around productivity in the right direction, according to us? So I would love to hear, starting from Shan, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this topic?
It's very interesting, especially in the field of sustainable business, and so many ESG frameworks popping up all over the place. And there has been statistics come out recently that businesses are spending more on reporting and frameworks than actually on sustainable innovation. So that is a productivity that is reports and frameworks and reports and frameworks that are not ratified by any other system. And so that productivity I don't think is productive. So more on initiatives that are well thought out, like you said, take your time, find out why you're doing that sustainable initiative, what impact is it really going to have, and then make sure you can test and measure that before you take action. So what you said again, like I've taken a while to learn this, that the more time that I spend sat down and focusing on the right action to take first means that people always say to me they have no idea how I've achieved and do the amount of stuff that they see me doing. But the reason is because there's a lot of stuff I say no to. I mean, I'm unashamed when I just delete emails like out of my inbox. Like if I don't need you, like boom, 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 get out my inbox. I'm not even going to look at it because I know what I'm focused on. I know what's the important goals for me to reach. And like you said, what's going to move the dial in my business and with my impact more. And a LinkedIn group that you have that we've joined is a thing that, like Elizabeth is saying, that accountability. Because yeah, I'm the type of person, like if I don't write a post, I don't write a post, you know, like I might be in the ebb and flow that Isabella's saying. I might be flowing and feeling like I just want to sit in the bushes and just chill out, you know, and yet I'm supposed to be doing a post. So there is that ebb and flow of like some things you really need to commit to doing, but don't do until you know exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it and what's the outcome you're looking for, and you can check it at the end. So don't do productivity just because you're like, I'm so busy. You know, I'm very proud after years of being an entrepreneur, like way long, to be able to say that actually I've tried so many miracle mornings and all these different things. And now if I get 7.5 hours sleep and spend the whole of Monday planning what my next step is, then it looks like I'm a hella productive, but I'm just strategic with what I'm doing with my energy and who I'm speaking to and where I'm showing up. So that's my
Yeah,
little.
it was interesting. It was interesting what you shared about productivity and reporting, in particular in your field. That's a very interesting insight because it's true. You know, sustainability, I've been to a lot of sustainability conferences. It's all about measuring, tracking, tracking. And now you're just bogged down by bureaucracy and by tools and by apps about, and of course it's important because one of like those activities, they need to be measured. Like that's why we have sustainable impact. How do we measure the sustainable impact that a particular project is making? How do we make sure that it's transparent? How do we make sure that there is no greenwashing where someone says one thing on the label and then there's something completely different on the on somewhere else? So that's why these tools and apps and reporting is important. But at the same time, is often about, okay, make sure you allocate the majority of the time to actually execute the impact. Because if you just spend all your time reporting,
And just to say on that, before you pick a framework or an app to follow, where has it been ratified? What research is behind it? Where's the baseline for this framework? You know, question before you take action, because otherwise you could be reporting just like the carbon offsetting with Vera that took companies like Coca-Cola. You know, they were carbon offsetting, and then it was found out later that they were offsetting nothing, you know. So do your research, and that's where don't get busy, get focused and productive by looking at why are you going to pick that framework, what is it backed up with, where's the research before you commit your business resources into it, and then you can take the action that is measurable and moves you forward.
yeah, do your research and then decide what action to take, which also is very relevant to the conversation that you're having. Is I even do your research about what options do you have for you to be more productive, and then implement things that you know they're going to be, or that you can test and see if they're good for you. So thank you, Sean. Isabella, how about you? What are your thoughts in terms of productivity over productivity? Have been productive every single hour of the day, and in particular also linked to the work that you do and what you see also in your clients. You need to unmute yourself.
Yes. Yes, it's a brilliant question. And I like what Shan was saying. It's not about the hours we put in and how hard you work, but how focused you are. And again, it comes down to making sure that you have your brain power to focus, to have a clarity. Because if you are in the state of confusion, or if you are in the wrong emotional state, or not right physical state, because you are, like I said, tired, or you had a not really the healthiest lunch that makes you feel sluggish after 15 minutes after eating it, then obviously those things will be affecting the level of quality of the work that you are doing. Now, I think we do have a tendency to work, what we call it, hard, as being productive. We call it being productive, working so many hours, because we kind of psychologically got probably taught to a certain extent that long hours, hard work will be more recognized. You will be rewarded for it. So there is a kind of a pleasure that you might feel that, okay, I'm going to be working hard and being like working 20 hours per day, for example, but I will be well rewarded for that. However, obviously, this is it's almost like addiction. It's not healthy, and it will backfire you health-wise. You will develop burnout. You are not going to be able to focus and perform well. And I think this is really something that is so vital, but it requires right now a mindset shift in leadership, among entrepreneurs, because even like you were mentioning, Simone, all the factors from the book that you started to focus on and kind of put them into sections, none of the sections talk about replenishment or how to empower your brain or how to really work so your body can be the most at the peak state, physically, emotionally, and mentally, so you can actually be productive. So it's a long way still to go. I think the society is waking up right now to recognize how important it is just to work in a certain way and take care of our physical, mental, and emotional, not only state, but the energy. But like I said, it takes shifting the mindset around that, and it's just so vital that we talk about it more. I think one of the things I'm involved a lot with talks about burnout and helping people to prevent it. I think when people talk about mental health and burnout, they think like something, this is not related to me. This is just for other people. This is no, I'm good. I'm absolutely good. But the fact is that over 90% of diseases and illnesses are related to stress. Now, every type of work, when you run a business, communicate with people, and etc., it does involve stress. If you don't manage or control stress, your emotions in the right way, and again, it will backfire you, because initially you might feel tired. This is the first sign that your body's out of balance, that you don't have this peak physical, mental, and emotional energy working for you, those resources within you. But it gradually leads to something larger, and then eventually leads to burnout. I know that there is a lovely lady that I started to follow on LinkedIn, and she says, well, I've never developed burnout. But on the other hand, she went through cancer. So you might not get the burnout, but developing cancer, like a chronic disease, is just something you build up in your body, and you look the signs, what to take care of, and eventually the body is just produces those diseases that are. We think it's sudden, but right now we know from the science that chronic diseases, they are building up in our body at least 2 decades before they show up, because they are not symptomatic. So looking after the basics really is just so vital. It has to be embedded as a part of the business strategy, and not just something extra we do. Oh yeah, we'll do some relaxation method or massage or meditation session. It has to be properly taken care of.
That's such a great point, to add the replenishment as part of your weekly routine.
Absolutely.
Because then it means that you can create you can have sustainable success. You can keep going, you can run your business, and in particular, You know that the one thing that we know is that running a business is never ending, right? There is always a never ending list of things. There is a goal, is a game with no end, is a game that doesn't finish, there's a game that doesn't end. Being an entrepreneur.
Can I add something, Simone? Sorry to jump in. You said to do it weekly. Absolutely, but you have to do it daily.
Yeah.
It's not about a weekly activity. It's not about monthly replenishment. It's on a daily basis. Something I've learned when I started to run, and from a novice runner, I completed 100K ultra run, in one go, 100 kilometers, and I needed to know how to feed my body properly while I was still running. So it was constant replenishment, refueling my body, so I could perform at my best and complete the challenge. And the same applies to the our daily habits as entrepreneurs, as leaders. The replenishment,
daily replenishment, daily replenishment. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Isabella. Thank you, Elizabeth. How about you? What are your thoughts on this matter?
Well, I certainly think we've built up a culture where busyness is is rewarded. People say, "How are you?" I say, "Oh, I'm so busy. I'm so busy," and so taking the time to do the long-term thinking. Simone, you were talking about your every quarter going through your exercise. I keep thinking about there was I can't remember the details now, but there was a survey done of 100 CEOs, and 97% of them said 97 of them said the most impactful thing they could do with their company was to take time for the long-term thinking. And 94% of them said, however, I don't do it myself. I want to do that and I don't get around to it. So in some ways, we're human. And the social media companies have invested billions in trying to distract us. So if you go down a rabbit hole, just think that, okay, they won. Stopping and thinking about where am I, what's going to help, what's going to make sense, what's going to make me feel good. One of the things that I've forgot about for a while and I'm now back to is tracking my wins so that I'm not just busy, busy, busy on the hamster wheel all the time. I'm rewarding myself for the things that I did manage that worked, the things that went well, because it's so easy to get into the habit of thinking only about the things I didn't get to. And that is certainly a well ingrained habit. So that's one of the habits that I'm changing, just tweak a little bit, is to remind myself each day what my wins from the previous day were, and sit with that. That is a practical thing that has helped me a great deal.
Yeah, there is a resource that I would love to share with everyone. It's an incredible book called The Gap and the Gain. I've recommended it to quite a few people. Yeah, Sean, I know you've read it. Elizabeth, do you read that book? You read that book too? Yeah, it's an incredible resource, and it exactly talks about the concept that Elizabeth was sharing right now. It's about always starting from a place of what have I achieved? What have I achieved? What have I achieved? Because the gap is always going to be there. There is always going to be more things we're not going to be able to do than the one that we will be able to do. So we're actually focusing on the wrong things. And that there's a lot of links with productivity, mental health, the passion, the joy of running a business. Because now you're actually acknowledging, as Elizabeth said, you're acknowledging yourself for the work that you're doing. So self-acknowledgement, really, really important to get going. So thank you, Elizabeth. Now, to wrap up the conversation, I'd love to, for everyone, and Elizabeth, I'm going to start with you. If you let everyone know, if people want to reach out to you, what is the best way to reach out to you? And also, if you have some resources that you would like to share, please go ahead. Elizabeth, you're up first.
Well, thank you. The easiest way to find out what I'm up to at the moment is on LinkedIn. So I'm LinkedIn Elizabeth with a Z, Bachman, Bachman. And I post articles, I post ideas, I have a podcast, and so I post all sorts of suggestions and ideas. That's the best way to find me, and reach out to me there.
All right, LinkedIn. If you scroll down, you will see also in the article where you will see Elizabeth's picture. There is also going to be a LinkedIn account, so you can scroll down and then check it out and connect with Elizabeth. So thank you, Elizabeth. Isabella, how about you? What's the best way to reach out to you?
Yes, I would love to connect on LinkedIn. Just one of the areas of social media that I'm intending to be more active on. So this will also inspire me, keeps me more, like Elizabeth was saying, more accountable. On LinkedIn will be the best, obviously. And if someone can reach out to me, I've got a service that I would like to offer. It's the wellness evaluation, which I can do online on Zoom. So like with the other person, help you to establish where you are at the moment with your wellness state, and how we can take you to the higher, so you can be more productive, and how to replenish daily, for example. Learn those little things.
All right. So again, scroll down through the article, see where Isabella, there is Isabella's picture, and then you can connect her by going on LinkedIn. And as well, if you're interested in having your wellness assessment, then make sure you reach out and ask for it. Sean, over to you.
You can catch us on www.sustainableaction.net, and on there is our email address, and there's also all our social links. So, yeah.
Okay. Again, you can see the website, everyone, on in the article. So scroll down, and then you can connect with Sean. There will also be some of our social media links. You can connect on social media and also on her website. I want to say a massive thank you to Sean, Isabella, and Elizabeth for being part not only of the article, but also for this particular interview that builds on that. And for everyone, this is one of the many conversations that we're having as a community each month. Each month there is a different topic, and you can go on our website, which is gtex.org.uk. So gtex.org.uk. You can see in the blog session all the other collaborative articles and podcasts that we did, so you can check them out. Make sure you connect with our members, and until next month, remember that together we grow exponentially. Ciao!